first subject is animals. Who wants to come in on that? Ava.
I'm not a massive animal lover. I recently I found out that I had a mouse in my flat. Don't look at me like that, I'm not dirty. So I called this guy from Rent-A-Kill, right? And he comes along, and there's something weird about this. They don't tell you anything that comforts you. So this guy goes to me, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to block all the holes in your flat, because I don't know if you know this, but a mouse can collapse its vertebrae and squeeze through the hole the size of a pencil. And I was like, geez, if you have to collapse your vertebrae in order to get in somewhere, perhaps you just shouldn't be there. I mean, it's a bit extreme. So I was like, I will not stay in a house that has got mice in it. So I moved to my friend's house. But before I went, this guy tells me to leave my TV on because the mice might hear it and think that people are actually there. And then, as I was staying at my friend's house, it was like past midnight. I was on the sofa, I couldn't get to sleep, and I started getting really angry. So I thought, here I am in someone else's house, and that creature is back in my flat, probably sitting on the sofa watching Rasta Mouse. Right? But I did eventually get rid of them, and which was great. And I swear, because it was the worst thing that could happen to me, because I hate mice so much, I only ever wear makeup that's tested on animals.
Okay, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is nationality.
If you're addicted to meths, you're either an alcoholic or a South African with a real love of numbers. I've got a friend who got caught shoplifting in Saudi Arabia. Fortunately, he'd stolen a prosthetic hand. Unfortunately, it was a second offence. So I'm in France, and I saw this little old lady knitting in the town square. I said, "Voulez-vous crochet avec moi?" I used to teach English in Germany. First day, I taught them everything beginning with A. Second day, everything beginning with B. D-Day was a bit tricky. So I'm in a disco in Tehran. All these women dancing around a handbag singing Iranian Men, Hallelujah. Recently, I phoned up the spiritual leader of Tibet. He sent me a large goat with a long neck. Turns out I'd phoned Dalai Lama.
You're welcome back. Okay, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a property show.
6 months in, and Mike has fallen out with the builder. There was no window there, and neither of them noticed.
With violence and strong language from the very beginning. It's a place in the Sunderland.
Yes, it is north-facing, but on the plus side, it's a caravan, so you can just turn it round.
Get that fish out of here, it stinks. You should never leave a place in the sun.
We've just 1 hour while Gina's at the shops to improve her flat in Luton. Setting it on fire and moving it to Oxford.
Well, it's another setback. This time the structure is damaged. And for the first time, I'm asking myself, will the Death Star ever be finished?
And more information on how to get together a deposit for a house can be found in our free leaflet, When Will Nana Die?
So, you bought it at auction for £100,000, but what exactly are you going to do with Middlesbrough?
Well, what we've done is we've knocked the wall between the kitchen and the lounge down, and what that's done is killed all the people who were sitting in the lounge.
The kitchen's done in a very modern style. We call it crack den.
We're looking at a well-equipped council house in Hull. Fridge, oven, washing machine. In fact, this is one of the nicest gardens we've seen.
This week on Grand Designs, my gran designs a house. It'll be shit. She's got terrible arthritis and not even a rudimentary qualification.
3 coats of varnish and a new rug, and Brucey is ready for his next show.
Welcome to the 74-hour-long obsessive-compulsive episode of How Clean Is Your House?
Knock it down, tarmac it, fuck 'em.
Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
OK.
Tiff.
As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? Magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not like in the way that the contraception went wrong. Like, the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. I said, now listen. I don't mean really hurt. I don't mean really hurt, I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences, do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to Tiff Davidson. Come on back for the news. I'm driving you mad here. The question was, what state was the Thames whale said to be in? Sorry, I'll do that again, because I keep saying Thames because I'm Irish.
I think that was absolutely fine, Dara. I wouldn't worry about doing that again, that bit.
OK, well, we'll move on. It is, just to check, sorry, it is... It's
Thames. That's
Thames.
right. Thames.
It's Thames.
It's the River Thames.
OK, all right. What state was the Thames Wall said to be in when it arrived in London? Yeah. OK, yeah, I will do it properly, all right? The question is, what state was the Thames... I've got to get this right.
You've hit the Thames barrier, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah. The question is, what state was the Thames whale said to be in when it arrived in Lundon? I'm sorry. Come with this. Let's do it again. Does anyone know just the amount of shouting there is in my earpiece going, could we please move on? Could we? Is there any chance we could not do the entire recording about how Goring killed himself by first extracting a cyanide tablet from his own feces? Is there any chance, Dara, you could take some control over the show so it's broadcastable at some stage? Could you? They're even shouting at this bit. Stop doing the bit where you mock us for shouting in their ear. Our first round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of David Beckham and his lovely wife Victoria. But what does the DBPB stand for?
Is it desperate, bulimic's pointless boyfriend?
Yeah.
Does Beckham piss banknotes?
That would be a fantastic act.
Of course, you'd need a question mark, really, but it's just a game.
Is it dabbles behind Posh's back? Or is he just didn't bother packing Brooklyn?
Is it something about a payday bonanza or something?
I'd like to have a crack at this. Is it David Beckham's payday bonanza?
It's a good guess, but no. It's not. It's David Beckham's pay bonanza. Hugh was the closest, rather than Hugh. Right? Yes, it celebrates the former England captain's impending move to American club LA Galaxy. Beckham hopes to raise the profile of football in America, as well as earning close to £130 million over 5 years, or £70,000 a day. Are we all really happy for him?
Yeah.
We've all done stuff for money. My brother ate some dog food for 20 quid.
It's hardly a payday bonanza, though.
He's 3 years old.
What they're saying is he gets £5 million for playing football, and the rest is image rights and all the rest of it. And they're saying the reason he's getting most of the money is because he will appeal to the Hispanic market because he can speak Spanish. He can barely speak English.
The best thing about this, though, it just gives old people an opportunity to wax lyrical about the old footballers. My granddad was brilliant, and he always invents players. I'm sure of it. But he was there the other day, just kind of go, David Beckham. He's bloody. I tell you what, never as good as Will Flangleberry. Will Flangleberry. He was so good. He scored 81 goals in a game. So poor, he lived in a kettle. He used to eat nothing but gravel, and he was still better than bloody Beckham. You're just trying to win.
Is there an element that this entire story just proves once and for all that this country hates success?
Exactly.
You cannot handle somebody having a perfectly nice retirement gift of 130.
We hate successful morons. We really like successful people who develop cures for diseases and stuff like that. That's great.
So if the story was Stephen Hawking signs for LA Galaxy for 130.
It's a shame, though, because really good players, Paul Scholes is probably going to end up fighting pigs for a living when he's old. Do you know what I mean?
I watched that. With Stephen Hawking,
He'll have no money, do you know what I mean? Or someone...
Why are we under pressure just because Paul Scholes is quiet that he's frittered all his cash away on Findus crispy pancakes or something?
Apparently he spent it all desperately trying to find a cure for gingerness.
There's not enough money in the world.
It's called Scholes' Folly. This entire research project here, which is just there to cure Scholes' ginger.
It's vulgar. It's not just a lot of money. It's nearly 130 million. Plus, the season doesn't start till April, so until then he can claim unemployment benefit.
I'm not jealous of all of Beckham's money. He has still got to listen to her singing in the bath. And I'm thinking, I bet Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes are regretting saying, come and stay. They weren't expecting 5 years, were they?
Why is Tom Cruise befriending him? That's what we've got to ask ourselves.
He wants to get him into the movies.
Why would someone who's a Scientologist, who's in a religious cult, want to befriend a rich, gullible idiot?
Not getting closer. I feel that man called for Jason and Andy. Now we play a round called Your Grexits Are Here, Here and Here. This game involves James and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched the wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of the performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is parties. Who wants to go into that? James.
I went to a surprise party recently for my friend Darryl. We were all in his living room, all of us, in the dark, hiding. His girlfriend turned to us all, she went, right, he's going to be here in a minute. When he gets in, everyone jump out, yell surprise, and that will be really surprising. I argued it'd be a lot more surprising if instead of making all that commotion, we all just stood there in his living room in the dark, just... When he comes in and turns the lights on, see how surprised he is then? It's a good party. I schmoozed. I'm good at schmoozing. Buttering people up. I'll give you some schmoozing tips, why not? A lot of people will tell you when you're schmoozing, have a good icebreaker, right? Break the ice. What they won't tell you, at the end of the conversation, unbreak the ice. You don't want anyone else swooping in, taking advantage of all the lovely little ice cubes that you created. So freeze it over again before you leave. So as you're leaving, just slide something under the fence, like death comes to us all, something like that.
Thank you very much, So, Gary's left. Let's see what topic you have, Gary. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is childhood.
I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. And apparently at the moment she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. They love that. Every Christmas day we'd always have pigs in blankets, or as you probably call them, relatives sleeping in the spare room. Winnie the Pooh, possibly the most vindictive chapter in Nelson Mandela's autobiography. It was only after I shot the 5th zombie that I started to wonder why they were all carrying bags of sweets and ringing my doorbell. I've been trying to recapture my lost youth. I really must get that cellar door fixed. One time when I was a kid, I bought a chocolate bar. On the inside of the wrapper, it said, "You're a loser." I wouldn't mind if there'd been some sort of competition on. To make things worse, it was a boost. As a family, we couldn't decide whether to have Nana buried or cremated, so in the end, we let her live. My 13-year-old cousin's already started taking heroin. It's amazing, isn't it? They shoot up so fast these days.
Well done. Very good. Point to the angle again, lady. Everyone come back. It is to do with the visitor to London.
Oh, it's the whale. It's the whale.
It's the whale, yes. The actual answer.
I've no sympathy for this whale. It died of dehydration. In a river. They're supposed to be nearly as intelligent as man whales, and this whale died of dehydration.
Well, to be fair, the whale didn't request being removed from the river. The whale probably, if asked, if consulted at any stage about one of the major health problems that you could face while being removed from the river, dehydration, he probably would...
The best thing about this whole whale business is that there's now no need to go to New Zealand. Simply no need. You're 28 hours of connecting flights to look at whales. There's no point. They're in our river.
Do you know one of the reasons I think it swam up the Thames was because the Navy were doing sonic soundings and stuff off Southend, and this apparently confused the whale. Because it sounds like an explosion to us, but to the whale it said diversion, North Sea closed. Delays possible till November.
I was very impressed with the fact that I spoke to a number of people who said, well, it received all the coverage because we in Britain love animals. Ugh. And you're kind of going, no, I think any country that had a whale swim into the middle of the capital city would have probably gone, a whale, that's a little bit unusual to ask. I don't think there's any country in the world that gone, the bloody, like an urban fox or something. The bloody whales are at the bins again.
It was the same week, the whale came up the Thames, the same week as Ben Fogle and, James Cracknell rowed across the Atlantic. And the whale was probably thinking, look, if they're going to take my territory, I'm going to London and I'm going to present Cash in the Attic.
This week on Cash in the Attic. Well, yes, it was my mother's originally. But we're hoping to raise money for a holiday in Australia.
I think it was weird that they were thinking... One of the plans was to use whale song to lure the whale back out to sea. But we don't know what a whale song means. We have no idea.
Anything by Dido will do.
Yeah, exactly.
As an emergency measure, they could have slowly moved Enya up the river from Kingston, playing her kind of music,
do that anyway.
Driving the whale.
Let's do that anyway as a memorial to the whale's memory, Dara. Or let's make a memorial for the whale by putting it in the EastEnders title sequence.
Is it not very selective as well that they gave the whale a name? That it was called Wally or Whaley?
What was the mistake with the names?
Well, because you give a whale a name, but you don't. When a dingo has eaten some children in Australia, you don't say.
Well, you don't.
Davy the dingo.
Well, you generally give the name to anthropomorphise, to give to see that it reflects some great human qualities like bravery or
getting
whatever.
lost.
The whale. But eating small children isn't really the kind of thing you want to have a money. Oh, little Teddy the dingo, you're all full up now, aren't you?
Exactly.
The Sunday Times helpfully ran a map of the whale's route, which we can show here. That's the whale, which is, the river, basically. Just in case you're going, if I was going to Battersea from East London, I wouldn't have gone that way. After the whale sadly died, some criticised the rescue operation. Let's face it, a whale needs to be winched onto the barge like it needs a hole in the head. I thought that was sweet, that particular one. To be fair, the whale only received the same treatment as any NHS patient, dying on the trolley 36 hours after first being seen. TV shows that never made it to air.
Hi, I'm Bill Oddie, and this is Badger Cull Live.
Complicated financial fraud, she wrote.
Yes, it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Police, camera, paperwork.
Let's see if you can guess who it is in Lloyd Grossman's Through the Arsehole.
Celebrity Love Island. Oh no, Christ, that really happened.
You've been shot.
The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Greg. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Greg delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage while Hugh translates what they really mean. Greg, you are American presidential candidate Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Luther, Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, what's wrong with
No, Martin Luther King is fine. It was Luther.
I love the idea your brain's just going, I can offer you the word tangerine, that is it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Lincoln, Kennedy, Luther King.
I'm going to be assassinated.
Hillary is a wonderful politician, and I'm delighted to have her continued support. Loser! Loser! George Bush has been giving me some tips.
He still thinks I'm the valet who parks his car.
I have the greatest of respect for all of Senator McCain's achievements.
Oven chips.
I will, of course. I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound like some sort of soul singer now. Yeah, we got it together, didn't we, babe?
And the subject is weather.
You do it. I'll do it. I've got this. Weather is one of the things that shows that the British people are great big Jessies. Not the British people, actually. No, there's a split here. When it snows, Scottish people do this. Oh, look, love. Snow. See you later. English people go, oh, God! It is the end of day! When it snowed last year, the BBC were going, don't go out! It's -2! We don't know if humans can live at that temperature! There are men made of snow with outstretched arms waiting for you! Don't go out! And the news always talks us up. We're always woefully underprepared, woefully underprepared. Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Look, we're never going to run out of salt in this country. As long as supermarkets continue to do value meals, we'll be fine, right? Fling a few lasagnas up the M1, you'll be grand. Don't worry about it. Chinese meal for 2, good for 40 miles, I should think, which won't be a problem. We massively overplay this. The news are the worst at it. Sky News, I was watching Sky News on the day after it snowed, the day of the lethal compacted ice. Reporting from a rural spa where supplies were running low. And in an attempt to ramp up the tension, the reporter genuinely said this phrase, "This place is down to its last pack of croissants." Oh, God, the humanity! Forced to eat pain au chocolat!
The topic is safety. Away you go.
Just like to say to the old man, who was wearing camouflage and using crutches, who stole my wallet earlier. You can hide, but you can't run. Of course, these days, a lot of people are putting poison on the menu of restaurants in the hope that French people think it's fish. My dad's answer to everything was alcohol. He didn't drink, he was just very bad at quizzes. I only have access to my son on Saturdays. Well, he fell under the floorboards of a synagogue. And I would like to see a world without plagiarism. You may say I'm a dreamer. But I'm not the only one. You see, my friends, if I had a crystal ball, I'd sit down very carefully. They say that putting mud on your face is good for your skin, but I saw a sign the other day that said sewage treatment works. Trust me, it doesn't.
Bad things to say in a job interview.
When I said I was a Yale student, I studied key cutting at Mr. Minutes.
Why do we want this job? Don't tell him I have to.
No, I applaud your policy of positive discrimination, and that's why I blacked up.
Can I just check? This office is more than 50 metres from a school.
What do you mean, no experience? Being abducted by aliens isn't an experience, and I don't know what it is.
Well, yes, I would make the perfect train driver. I'm always late, and I break down really easily.
I think I'd make a very good diplomat. I'd like to live in Paris with all the other parasites.
What do I see myself doing in 5 years' time? Exactly the same, only on Dave.
Thank you for seeing me. I hope you don't mind if I stay sat down for a moment. I've got a little erection bubbling away.
No, emu, no, emu, no.
What can I bring to this job? How about the photocopier from my last office?
Yes, well, in spite of my lack of medical experience, I still think of gynecology as a calling.
What are my weaknesses? Fat birds.
Whose famous face was recently given a makeover?
Is this the Jesus story?
This is the Jesus story.
This is like this Spanish woman who tried to restore this painting and just ruined it.
She did. Where was it, by the way? It was in...
It was in Spain.
It was in Spain. I'm trying to
Where the Spanish ladies are.
Yes. And they do dance well. It was in Zaragoza. It was in the Sanctuary of Mercy Church in Zaragoza.
That's it. And the authorities were very cross with her. Because the only people who are allowed to touch up in a Catholic church are, of course, the priest.
Yes, it was a church, the Sanctuary of Mercy Church near Zaragoza, and there is a century-old...
You really brought Spain to life for us there.
You have to make an effort with foreign names. You can't just be Zeds and...
And you say Paris, do you?
Zaragoza. Zaragoza.
Wanker.
Zaragoza.
So, anyway. Hola, ¿qué tal? Sí, bueno. See, the worst thing is I do the Spanish accent, it goes Mexican incredibly quickly. There was a fresco in a church in Zaragoza. This fresco was incredibly beautiful. They call it El Guapismo. Anyway, there was a fresco in a church in Zaragoza.
Where's the fresco?
It's in a church in Zaragoza. In a church in Zaragoza. In a church in Zaragoza.
How old was it? How old was it?
It was a century. It was 100 years old.
A whole 100 years.
A whole 100 years old.
What a story this is. Somebody has touched up 100-year-old painting on a wall.
Week. Zaragoza is a very sleepy town. I think it's much more the case that it was decaying because of where it had been painted, right? And so this is how the fresco looked originally. This is actually a photograph taken some years ago. Now,
He was
this is the fresco. It's painted by Elias Garcia Martinez. I'm going for it. Do it. Right. This is how it looked just recently because the plaster on which it was built had decayed, right? So this is how it looked now. Okay. So a nice old lady, a nice Zaragozan lady, went in and repainted it. And just paint up. And this is how it looked when she'd finished. Picasso would have been proud of that. He thinks she's done a great job of it.
The thing is, here's one I sent in earlier. You really should be.
Like old lady, Zaragoza. I am sorry, people of Zaragoza. We cannot return your paintings. Thank you very much for sending them in to Mock 2 Weeks Gallery.
Your paintings because they're painted on a wall in a church.
She's actually made Jesus look like a Teletubby.
She also rounded him off as well. Like she twisted it around and the whole thing.
She thought she'd done a really good job though, because everyone that she showed it to went, Jesus Christ!
Completely fair. We don't actually know what Jesus looked like.
You didn't look like that.
Just assume that he looked like. Who knows? He
I tell you what,
this might have been the bit from the Bible.
I'm Jesus.
I tell you what, missing in the Bible where Jesus comes in after a botched face job. Last Supper, and everyone says, "Have you had any work done, Jesus?" No.
You know my furry hat? My furry hat goes all the way around.
She's actually seeing the restorer next week, isn't she? Because she's got to tell the restorer exactly what materials she used to do that. And you're thinking all she's going to produce is half a potato.
The irony is she is probably older than the fucking fresco.
The first subject is, in the week in which the Oscar nominations were revealed, rejected lines from movies.
E.T. phone premium rate sex.
Milk, bread, rich tea biscuits. Are you sure this is the right list, Mr. Schindler?
There are 50,000 Zulu outside. Now tell Jade to get back inside and keep her bloody mouth shut.
This T-1000 cybernetic organism has encountered a problem and needs to close. Do you wish to send an error report?
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, but on weekends, Marjorie.
A census taker tried to test me once. I ate his liver with some fish fingers and a bottle of Jacob's Creek.
Good morning, Cheltenham!
Well, there's one thing I should tell you, Mr. Darcy. I have chlamydia.
What, Rambo? You want to wait for a UN resolution?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. But thank you for phoning the BT helpline.
Luke Skywalker, I am your mother.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear at Wimbledon.
Well, at 2 sets down, let's see what he's got in his locker. He's not going to be there for about 20 minutes. I've got a crowbar.
Serena Williams has been seeded. You've got to admire the bravery of that bloke.
Hello, I'm Sue Barker. You may remember my father, Chew Barker.
Well, they say that the All England Club is a bit behind the times, and that's why this small boy has just had his hand chopped off for stealing a strawberry.
I am a tennis umpire and gay, and it wasn't easy to come out.
What a fantastic slice, but I do think the All England Club will insist she wears knickers again next year.
Fuck off, Tim!
Well, how did the umpire get up there? I think he must have used a set bladder.
Of course, this year the British players play a lot better. If we look at this graph, we see huge biceps and an angry... Sorry, Steffi, wrong graph.
And for any of our Scottish viewers, what you can see there in that glass of Pimm's is fruit.
Andy Murray here. Andy Murray not being able to make it here today, but we do have his cab driver on the other line. Can you tell us what's occurred? I can't get out the cab!
And the mound has taken a real pounding in the last fortnight. I think the All England Club are fine with it as long as it doesn't affect her tennis.
The point here, Aaron, you're in
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, excellent. Politics it is. The answer is 5. But what is the question?
The amount of times a minute Ed Miliband remembers that stone. Is it, if I've got a tenner and want to book a boy band for my wedding, who can I afford?
Everybody get up.
Is it what does Nigel Farage regard as an acceptable level of immigration?
Is it how many snazzy ties did I try on before the show?
No.
What is the maximum number of euros you can get out of a Greek cash point at the moment?
Is it, if I'm watching a documentary on Adolf Hitler's favourite shark, which channel am I watching?
What would be a cracking score for a UK entry in Eurovision?
Is it how many of the famous 5 are now dead?
Surely not.
I didn't want to break it to you like this.
Julian is just sitting quietly in a rocking chair, remembering the adventures and going...
Laughing because he killed them all.
Is it how many basic bitches does it take to escort Kate Moss off an EasyJet flight?
Is that a thing? Is that like a...
I'm a pretty basic bitch.
I think you're an ornate bitch, right? I
So you think I'm a ratchet-ass hoe?
Well, I didn't want to make it too obvious, so I've got a little soft spot for you.
Is it how many presenters from the 1970s are relaxed when the phone rings now?
Is it how many names are currently written on Taylor Swift's blank space?
Is it as a...
I know it's a song. I know Taylor Swift.
You know Taylor Swift?
Hate.
Is this what we do? If ever we mention any band and you're going to do an impression?
No, that's not what's going to happen here.
Is it Kate Bush?
So one quick impression.
The Village People.
NWA. I think it is how many candidates are there in the Labour leadership?
Absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Hugh. Yes. Correct. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is home life. Nate.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Aren't you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Stop clinging on. Let it go, woman. She's going to slap the black off me when she sees this. So, yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment. Mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is like right next door, so like every time they do it, I hear everything. Like a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night, I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh lord, say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently anyway. I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
Well done. Jenna and Porco, Campbell. Come on back. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you're unlikely to hear on a quiz show.
Here is your starter for 10. Spring rolls, sesame toast and chili balls with prawn.
Hello and welcome to Ask the Family. Mr. Fritzl, where's the rest of them?
Hello, we're Ant and Dec, and welcome to Double Our Money. Double Your Money.
I'm Anne Robinson, and if my Botox wears off, my face will turn into a scrotum.
Look at what you could have won if you went to school.
Name? Ted Smith. Occupation? Carpenter. And your chosen specialised subject? The life and work of the carpenter Ted Smith.
For £1 million, complete this well-known phrase. Like
a vowel. 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 Zzz is the answer.
I'm Richard Whiteley.
Welcome to Inflation Adjusted. Who wants to be a Zimbabwe millionaire?
It's the banker. He says he's got your kids.
And your question is on celebrities. What jocular Irish host of the popular show Mock the Week is known by his friends as Dobby for his uncanny resemblance to the house elf in Harry Potter?
This is just a picture of Prime Minister David Cameron pictured last year visiting a farm. However, he is now at the centre of allegations, including drug-taking and debauchery with a pig during his years at Oxford University. The claims are made by former Conservative Party Treasurer Lord Ashcroft in a new biography serialised in the Daily Mail this week. The PM spokeswoman said she did not see the need to dignify the book by offering any comment, and other sources close to Cameron later dismissed the pig allegations as nonsense and not true. So that's settled with it. We need never mention it again.
They said they don't recognise the allegations. They didn't say they don't recognise the pig.
That pig is not his type because it's alive.
Yeah. So that's the point about it. It was dead pig.
Yeah, that's the point.
If you've got a dead pig, some people, don't they? They put an apple in its mouth. What's wrong if you had a couple of plums as well?
Of course, it was the head of a dead pig in this story. Of course it was. Of course. Anything else would be bizarre.
Yeah, and it's an etiquette minefield at these posh do's, isn't it? Because you never know, when do you use the little knife? Is that my side plate? Is that the correct glass for white wine? Is now an appropriate time to place my cock in a pig's head? It's just... it's an etiquette minefield.
I just tend to dip it in everything once, just on the off chance and get it right. Just been around the table.
It was actually when this story broke, wasn't it? He was meeting the Danish PM.
It's the most beautiful. It is so incredible.
What is Denmark famous for? I mean, we called him the Danish PM, but presumably there's every chance Cameron just calls him an escort agency boss.
People have done things in college, and I think in some ways you've got to have that amount of sympathy, because we've all, you know, possibly done things in college that shouldn't be investigated, maybe not a university here, maybe one in another country. But let's not look into things. Let's not investigate stuff that may have happened back in the mists of time, you know. So people died. It was a terrible night. But you know, we've all moved on, haven't we? Yeah, good.
There is apparently photographic evidence of the event, which made me wonder... Terrible. Was the pig wearing a GoPro?
That photo was before digital cameras. Who took that film to Snappy Snaps? Imagine it. Yeah, there's one photo on there, the one with the pig. Can I get that on a mouse mat as well?
what's going to turn up is a jigsaw with one piece missing in the jigsaw. No, he lost it in a house move. How did this incredible, life-affirming story emerge?
Well, it's revenge, isn't it? It's this guy, Lord Ashcroft, who was treasurer of the Tory party. He worked for the Tory party for 10 years, and he was promised a job in the cabinet, and then when David Cameron got into power, he offered him a junior whip's job in the Foreign Office.
And he went bananas. Absolutely bananas. And he's done all this. He acts like it's not, but it is. It's a classic example of revenge being a dish that's best served cold, like prosciutto.
When they leaked, when the Daily Mail had this story, I didn't know that there's a dailymail.com, which is the American version, so I'd never been on the website before, so I typed it into the internet. And their headline, because they've got no interest in this in America, was John Hamm wins an Emmy. And I thought, is that the pig? Oh, his career's gone from strength to strength.
Well, yeah, the pig got an Emmy for faking it.
Bad things to say at a job interview.
What can I bring to the job? A burning hatred of the West, a hook for a hand and a pilot's licence.
The 5-year employment gap, yeah. I was canoeing.
Right, I hope we can all be professional about the fact that I've just split up with all three of you.
I'm really only here because I'm hoping to slip on a wet floor and then fall off a ladder.
Yes, I've had a few changes of address, Wormwood Scrubs, Broadmoor, but for the last 3 months I've lived in your air conditioning.
I'm really into diversity. In my last team, I made sure that we had a black, a fruit, and a fatty.
I have always wanted to work in a motel.
I'm telling them, Mother, I'm telling them!
This job would be a great opportunity for me to steal a shitload of stationery.
Hey, I remember you from the dungeon. How you doing? It's me, Gimpy Terry.
I'm Gimpy Terry's mate.
Sum myself up in 3 words. Well, I suppose it would have to be killer alien vagina.
What do you mean I'm underqualified to be a plumber? I'm 5 hours late. I've done a piss in your sink.
When can I start? Yesterday, but I can only work till today.
9 till 5, 9 till 5. My medication wears off at 3.
This is just a picture of Prime Minister David Cameron pictured last year visiting a farm. However, he is now at the centre of allegations, including drug taking and debauchery with a pig during his years at Oxford University. The claims are made by former Conservative Party Treasurer Lord Ashcroft in a new biography serialised in the Daily Mail this week. The PM spokeswoman said she did not see the need to dignify the book by offering any comment, and other sources close to Cameron later dismissed the pig allegations as nonsense and not true. So that's settled with it. We need never mention it again.
They said they don't recognise the allegations. They didn't say they don't recognise the pig.
That pig is not his type because it's alive.
Yeah. So that's the point about it was a dead pig.
Yeah, that's the point.
If you've got a dead pig, some people, don't they? They put an apple in its mouth. What's wrong if you had a couple of plums as well?
Of course, it was the head of a dead pig. in this story. Of course it was. Of course. Anything else would be bizarre.
Yeah, and it's an etiquette minefield at these posh do's, isn't it? Because you never know, when do you use the little knife? Is that my side plate? Is that the correct glass for white wine? Is now an appropriate time to place my cock in a pig's head? It's an etiquette minefield.
I just tend to dip it in everything once, just on the off chance. And just been around the table.
It was actually when this story broke, wasn't it? He was meeting the Danish PM.
It's the most beautiful. It is so incredible.
What is Denmark famous for? I mean, we called him the Danish PM, but presumably there's every chance Cameron just calls him an escort agency boss.
People have done things in college, and I think in some ways you've got to have that amount of sympathy, because we've all, you know, possibly done things in college that shouldn't be investigated. Maybe not a university here, maybe one in another country. But let's not look into things. Let's not investigate stuff that may have happened back in the mists of time, you know. So people died. It was a terrible night. But you know, we've all moved on, haven't we? Yeah, good.
There is apparently photographic evidence of the event, which made me wonder, terrible, was the pig wearing a GoPro?
That photo was before digital cameras. Who took that film to Snappy Snaps? Imagine it. Yeah, there's one photo on there, the one with the pig. Can I get that on a mouse mat as well?
Do you think what's going to turn up is a jigsaw with one piece missing in the jigsaw? No, he lost it in a house move. How did this incredible, life-affirming story emerge?
Well, it's revenge, isn't it? It's this guy, Lord Ashcroft, who was treasurer of the Tory party. He worked for the Tory party for 10 years, and he was promised a job in the cabinet, and then when David Cameron got into power, he offered him a junior whip's job in the Foreign Office.
And he went bananas. Absolutely bananas. And he's done all this. He acts like it's not, but it is. It's a classic example of revenge being a dish that's best served cold, like prosciutto.
When they leaked, when the Daily Mail had the story, I didn't know that there's a dailymail.com, which is the American version, so I'd never been on the website before, so I typed it into the internet. And their headline, because they've got no interest in this in America, was John Hamm wins an Emmy. And I thought, is that the pig? God, his career's gone from strength to strength.
Well, yeah, the pig got an Emmy for faking it.
We forget about Cameron is he presents this blokish image, but he's just unbelievably posh. He's pretending he's going to sort the banks out. He is the same people as the banks. They're the same people. The only reason he'd get tough with a banker would be if it was someone who farted on his head at school.
It is something I found with Cameron, because Cameron, it's one of the easiest gigs in the world, because all he has to do is shut up, and because Brown is clearly on his way out, so all Cameron has to do, basically, to get elected, is not answer any questions.
But he hasn't,
and all he does is, people say, well, what do you do? And he say, well, I'll tell you what we won't do. I'll tell you what we won't do. That's everything. And this is a job interview. How irritating does that get in a job interview if somebody just, like, if you had a guy around your house, a builder, to fix a hole in the roof, and you said, well, there's a hole, what do you do? I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't fix that with cheese. That's what I won't do. If you were interviewing a nanny, how irritating would that be if you said to a nanny, well, what would you do with our child? I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't tie the child to a wall and go in the piss with my mates. I won't do that.
My favourite guy in the shadow cabinet is, the only one who's ever said anything, is Andrew Lansley, who came out, he's the Shadow Health Secretary, and he said people should enjoy the credit crunch because it'll allow them to spend more time with their families because they'll be unemployed. Other benefits include increased upper body strength from having to climb out of a skip every morning and improved agility from chasing rats about with a fork. Who's this guy? Does he go up to blind people and congratulate them on how much money they're saving on wallpaper?
Are the Conservatives living on the right planet? All this idea about confiscating mobile phones and bikes. How about confiscating knives and guns? What's the worst you can do with a bike and a phone? A ride by texting.
Even if we got teenagers' mobile phones, we wouldn't even be able to understand what they're texting to each other. It'd be like a Clockwork Orange or something. Are you slipping my Grubel, Terry? I should fro-fo.
I think what the text will end up saying over the coming months is, you're not going to believe this, Dave, a Tory politician has just tried to mug me for my phone.
I now have his phone. Ha 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 ha. LOL, epic fail.
They're doing it. This is the funniest thing. They're doing it to stop graffiti. Now, some graffiti's amazing, isn't it? I was driving along the other day. There was a big sign that said "Stop," and underneath somebody had written "Hammer Time." Now, you do not confiscate someone's phone if they don't.
I'm all for confiscating bikes though, because I've only ever been beaten up once in my life, and it was by kids on bikes when I was 10. And it was when I learnt a very, very valuable lesson in life. I was playing cricket in a local park, right, and these kids on bikes came swooping down the hill and they nicked the stumps that we were playing with, right? And this was where I learnt my valuable lesson, which was don't try and do voices. Because instead of saying to these kids, excuse me, can you give me my stump back? What I actually said to them, and I've no idea to this day why I said it, I said, excuse me, would you mind handing me back my stumps? And what they did was they beat me round the head with the stump.
You got him back, didn't you? Wait a minute, Hugh. This taught you not to do voices. You've done every third voiceover I've ever heard. I'm sure you're the voice of Findus Crispy Pancakes.
They're amazing, though. Those moments you look back in your youth when you go, why did I say it? I used to get bullied because I've got a lazy eye, still quite bad. And kids are really cruel. Look at him, he's obsessed with his nose. Who said that? I used to cry. I looked like a Picasso in the rain. And I did that thing. I went to my dad for advice. Like, Dad, I need help. And my dad goes, say this to the bullies and they'll bully you no more. Picture me, age 10. It's nearly as embarrassing as your story. Age 10 going, bullies, how can my eye be lazy when it wanders around so freely?
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, the first subject is things you wouldn't hear over a tannoy.
We apologise for the delay. Fuck knows when Brexit's happening.
The train on platform 3 has been cancelled because it said something racist on Mock the Week.
Please do not leave your children unattended. Unattended children will be removed and destroyed.
And if you look out of the window on your left, you will see Christ the Redeemer, because I've crashed the plane and this is the afterlife.
This is cashier number 5. Can I get a price check? Can I get a price check for 1 large tub of Vaseline and 1 cucumber? Oh, it's OK, he's gone.
In a moment, the flight crew will remind you you're in a metal tube which can fall out of the sky. Please pay attention as they tell you about a whistle that in no way will save your life.
This is a reminder to smokers, this is a no-smoking flight, and this is a reminder to vapors, you don't look as cool as you think you do.
Amsterdam brothels would like to apologise for the yelp of pain you just heard. Unexpected item in the shagging area.
Hello, this is your pilot speaking. Just to prove that I am not too drunk to use the tannoy, Jeff.
Just a reminder that when we asked you to report anything that doesn't look right, we meant sort of like terrorist stuff, not just a baby wearing ripped jeans.
To avoid congestion, please walk right to the end of the platform, through the tunnel, and to the next station.
Don't forget you can take advantage of many deals in store today, or go with no deal because we're British and we won a war!
If you see something that doesn't look right, please ignore it. This is England after all. See it, feel uncomfortable about it, sorted.
This is your pilot, Captain Muhammad Qasim. Psych, it's John Smith.
This is an announcement for the man in the petting zoo. Heavy petting is not allowed. Get your tongue out of that llama.
And we've just pulled out of Paddington. Nobody expected the third film to end that way.
This is your train driver. I don't wish to alarm you, but it seems that we have travelled into space. Now, nobody... nighttime again.
Okay. Next topic is unlikely lines from a blockbuster movie.
We are a race of super intelligent beings who come from Uranus. Why is everyone laughing?
Welcome to the Hunger Games, or as it's also known, London Fashion Week.
The only way to defeat the evil clown is turning him off, then on again. This is IT.
Look, Rose, the way I see it, the ship is sinking and we're all going to die, so bum stuff?
Joker. A comedian becomes psychotic because people don't find him funny. Just a little warning, that's all.
Fast and Furious, the story of what happens to sex in marriage.
No, of course I'm not Mad Max, not with this cold. I'm Lemsip Max.
Oh, shit! Oh, that hurts so much. God, I hate living in Lego World.
There's only one superhero who can get into this frozen meal. Leave it to Thor.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. Sorry? Yes, I did go to private school. How'd you know that?
Dude, where's my car? I traded it in for a bike. Oh, piss off, Greta.
I don't like to call it the One Ring. I refer to it as an unexpected item in the Baggins area.
I think this could be the beginning of a very beautiful friendship. Look, he sent me a dick pic.
Woody, Buzz, you're not the only toys that come to life. I belong to Andy's mum, and my name is Rampant Rabbit.
Do you want to know why they call me the Riddler? It's because all of my partners are riddled with STDs.
I got this role because Ramesh couldn't make it. I got this role because Nish couldn't make it.
The end of that round. And the point's going to end. Ishan and Sindhu. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the spectacular opening to the Olympic Games. But what does BGMC stand for?
Is it British Gas Managers Celebrate?
Is it British Games Much Crapper?
Is it Bottled Gas Meets Cigarette?
I know this one, actually. It's Barry George, Merry Christmas.
Is it Badger's Grenade Mouse Compound?
That's a very large mouse compound, isn't it? I didn't know the mice were capable of that, and it's all gone to nothing because of the badger's attack.
I didn't know the badgers were capable of that. That's appalling. They grenaded it,
The
for
thing
God's
is,
sake. This is truly an escalation.
The thing is, Dara, you anger a badger, it will do anything. I saw a pensioner punch a badger in the face. Within seconds, no skin.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, the badger going and sourcing grenades is the bit I find particularly
I'll be honest with you,
impressive.
it was a joke. I'm now being held accountable for
I'm going
something.
to get it straight. You anger a badger to make it do anything? Because for years I've been playing them Barry White. And...
We once had a badger run over outside the house.
You had him run over?
No,
What
no,
kind
no.
of-
There was a badger.
What kind of butler have you got?
A badger
Have
was...
him run over for me. We shall sit in a throne and watch this.
You're like the godfather of the vermin world.
A badger was run over outside the house, and my parents were staying, and this badger obviously had to be killed, put down, to put it out of its pain. And all my father could find was a big stick. So he went outside and he had to hit the badger repeatedly with this big stick. And this is remembered by my son, because it was explained to him like this, as the time Grandad made the badger better with the stick.
Are you sure that's actually what happened?
At the point the badger has been run over, and then this old guy comes up and tries to finish it off
It
with
was
a
horrible.
stick.
It freaks my dad out, actually, thinking about it. It's horrible.
Your dad gets badger flashbacks.
Just big black and white and white and black and white and claw, and then red! Black, white, red all over.
Turn off Wind in the Willows! Turn off Wind in the Willows!
Alternative lifestyles. Who wants to come in that? Zoe.
Alternative lifestyles. A friend of mine actually recently bought me a book on feng shui. Feng shui. I was like, feng shui my arse. And by that, I don't mean move it further up my back to make my shoulders look better. You know, I know people do yoga to balance the body, and I can kind of see that, but to be honest with you, I can balance my own body beautifully with a pint in one hand and a pie in the other. And I take an all-or-nothing approach to alternative medicines. I think the test is, would you use it in an emergency, OK? Do you see many herbalist ambulances? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, help me, I've sawn my own arm off, have you? What you want to do there is wave a bit of sage over it. In fact, while I'm on it, don't get me wound up, I don't even think vegetarians should be allowed to squash their vegetarian food into meat-based products. You know the ones I'm talking about, the veggie burgers, the veggie bangers. I think, no, sorry, you made your choice. If you don't want the meat, you can't have the shapes.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is fatherhood. Who wants to come in on that? Al.
I'm a dad, and I can tell you already that child needs discipline. I'm a dad. I like being a dad. It's good fun being a dad, but I love mums as well. I'm a big fan of mums. My mum's one, and my wife's one, and lots of my friends are mums. And for a whole night, quite recently, I thought I might be a mum. I'm not. I'm a dad, but here's what happened. My wife went out for some drinks with some other mums, and I stayed in and had a really nice bath and a glass of wine. Yeah, I had a mum's night in. Brilliant night in as well, mums. I can totally see why it caught on amongst the mum community. It's great. It's much better than being out in a pub talking to idiots about nothing. I really enjoyed it. Quite disconcerting as well. I got out of the bath and just got the towel and twisted it around on the top of my head like that. Got up the next day and bought a little Citroen Zara Picasso. But I know I sound like a cliched dad when I say this, but genuinely, our little boy is properly gorgeous. He is. He's blonde and blue-eyed and really good-natured, and sometimes I'm just walking him round to the park, holding his little hand, and I'll just be swept away by how beautiful he is, and I'll just catch myself thinking, oh, my God, you are so gorgeous. If anything happens to your mum and she dies, we are going to look so attractive.
OK, which leaves us with Milton. Let's see what topic we have. It's entertainment.
I was watching Blue Peter the other day, who's a neighbour with really bad circulation. I said to him, Peter, Why don't you get a pacemaker? He said, I can't even run, let alone keep up with someone. I was watching TV the other day, and I flipped over, and all I could see were the brown cushions on my sofa really close up. You have to be careful watching television. You think to yourself, that bloke's better looking than me, he's got a better car than me, and he's got a cat called Jess. My favourite film is the French film And. I think it was released over here as E.T. You have to admire people who go into the performing arts. They have to do exercises every single day for their future careers. Big issue. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robin Jones. Point at the end round go to Alan Hamilton.
Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots who give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 string. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp. And suddenly, I couldn't believe how you put up my frazzles. There he was!
Russell Howard. Okay, that leaves us with Tom. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see what your topic is. The topic is exercise.
Also a picture of me. I'm not very good at exercise. I joined the gym. I joined Virgin Active because there wasn't a Virgin Passive. And I found the whole process very intimidating. Like, when you go in there, you're confronted with all the cardio area, like the cardio area. They call it cardio because that's where you go to have a heart attack. And then at the other end, they have what they call the free weights section, the free weights, which I have no business being in because it's for the bigger boys. The bigger boys go there all day. They're lifting things all day, trying to get big arms, trying to turn their arms into legs. And I think it all really started at school. Like, I didn't like doing PE at school. What would happen is, after assembly, one class would have to stay behind in the hall because they'd be doing gym. And I never found out who Jim was. The worst bit was if you had to use the apparatus. And the apparatus basically was this huge, terrifying cage which had to be buckled to the wall. It was so terrifying. And older children would have to come in who'd been trained by the army. And they'd come in and they'd untether its bonds, and they'd pull a lever and it would lurch out and it would swing out, and these huge, terrifying arms have to be buckled to the floor, otherwise it would just swing out and kill everybody. They had all these bars and ropes and chains. It was very much like a weekend I recently spent in Berlin.
Thank you very much. Again, right round. Before it's going to come on. Come on. Okay, that leaves with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel again. The topic is technology. Okay, where you go.
The young couple next door to me have recently made a sex tape. I mean, obviously, they don't know that yet. The hardest part of making skimmed milk must be throwing the cows across the lake. The guy next to me at work used to watch porn all day. I'm just glad he didn't begin to rub off on me. I think if I was to try revenge porn, I'd just post naked pictures of myself online so everybody would know how low my ex's standards were. When answering the security question, place of birth, apparently vagina is not an acceptable answer. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. I've currently got a stalker, but you probably can't tell in these trousers. A friend of mine was killed by the big sea. He was walking past Curry's and a sign fell on his head. I was watching TV and the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. Thank you.
Very good. Points there for a guy lady. Come on back. In other news, and there was other news this week. Remarkably, trolling the papers, there was other stuff happening in the world. What small group gathered in Bournemouth last week?
Was it the Abused Pig Support Society?
No, it was not.
It was the Liberal Democrats.
The Lib Dems had their
They did.
thing.
They had their conference in 2 4-man tents.
They've only got 8 MPs. They don't need a big hall.
No, they don't.
All they need is a Citroen Picasso.
They did it at Cafe Nero, and they shared a loyalty card, and still couldn't get a free coffee. It's a low moment, isn't it?
That is tough, all right.
There are other people at the conference, though, aren't there? It's not just the MPs.
No, it's not. No,
there are
it's
6 or 7 other people there.
Yeah. The best bit is when the venue hire said, well, we can just put 2 tables together. That'll do.
My favourite detail of the conference was that Paddy Ashdown did a DJ set.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love the idea that there's a poster somewhere with the words Paddy Ashdown, open brackets, DJ set, close brackets. Their party is so small that Vince Cable was doing the perfume for £1 in the toilet.
Wasn't there talk of splitting as well, and of some people leaving to make a new left-wing party?
The idea, yeah.
How can you split something that's already that small? You'd need the Large Hadron Collider to do that.
What did Jeremy Corbyn get in trouble for not doing last week?
Not being very good.
He didn't sing the national anthem.
Why did he not sing it?
Well, he's a Republican. He doesn't believe in the monarchy. But he claimed he was very much deep in thought. But then he's probably like most of the population who doesn't actually know all of the words to the national anthem.
There's a very odd thing in the second verse, though, which no one knows at all, which the opening line of which is, thy choicest gifts in store, on her be pleased pour. Which is a really odd image of somebody just emptying a massive sack of presents on her head.
Thy choicest gift in store sounds like a very old Argos advert.
Thy choicest gifts are in store now.
Didn't he claim that he was remembering the war?
He said, no, he later said that he was so moved because of his memories of his parents who were involved in the war and other thing, which is his first piece of spin. Could we? It's sweet.
None of us like the national. It's not a banging tune over here.
No,
Paddy Ashdown didn't spin it at the.
He just got to a break beat, dropped it. Hey, here comes the Queen.
This one's for Vince Cable. Get on the dance floor.
Things are about to get pretty extreme.
If they want something Jeremy Corbyn will sing gleefully, why don't they do David Cameron Had a Farm?
The post from James, Zoe and Andy. OK, next topic is unlikely things for Andy Murray to think.
I know it's championship point. I could really do with a poo.
Well, at least now I've won Wimbledon, they'll stop making fun of me on television.
Oi, Tim! Look what I've just won! Hey!
I wonder if my mum's watching today. Of course she is. She's always watching.
Could break his serve. Or I could break his fucking legs.
I remember when I used to train.
What is that? He's in the room.
So, I remember when I used to train in Scotland, I was a lot more unhealthier. I used to serve with a potato instead of a bowl so I could have lots of chips afterwards.
I wonder if Kim really likes tennis.
Wish Kim would shut up.
Oh, Ed Barney's so funny. He's so good.
When are Athena going to make a poster of me scratching my ass?
Why do I spend my life trying to hit a fuzzy green apple with a snowshoe?
God, it's great having an enormous penis.
I think I just saw Ivan Lendl raise his eyebrow. That means he's just ejaculated.
Wimbledon's all very well. I wish I was playing Farming Simulator.
Venus has the arse, Serena's got the tits.
Oh, that's not going in. OK. Now we play a round called Netflix and Chilcot. This game involved Loiso and Milton. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's have the first topic, please. The first subject is politics. Who shall come in on politics? Loiso.
So you guys are all worried about your prime ministers and that kind of stuff. I'd say calm down. Because I'm from South Africa, and the guy who's the head of state now was facing 763 charges before he became the president. That's a lot of crime. You have to break the law every day for 2 years. Because you guys are, I mean, we had a great president, our first democratically elected president, President Nelson Mandela. And I had the opportunity to meet Nelson Mandela. He came up to me, I was a young lad, I think I was about 12 and stuff. And he came up to me and said, young man, would you like me to tell you a joke? I said, yeah, go ahead, it's your country. Knock, knock. I said, who's there? Who else speaks like this?
Thank you very much, Louis. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been got. Let's spin the wheel. And it's jobs. Milton.
Have you noticed that if you Google the phrase lost medieval servant boy, it says this page cannot be found? Some of you are going to be doing that tomorrow. I think if I was opening a Pizza Express, I'd open it next to a Vision Express, so we got some of their customers by mistake. I think if I'd unlimited money, I'd hire 2 private investigators and get them to follow each other. Do you ever get that thing where you think someone's probably definitely wearing a wig, and you think to yourself, I'm sorry, Your Honour. I'm a bit of a lazy writer, according to my children, QWERTY and F12. Being a PE teacher, that's easy, isn't it?
Shiny. I teach running. Run. I teach swimming. Swim. And a tiny, tiny little bit of geography. Jog.
Thank you, mate. That's one. Post there go to Milton Jones. Come back, both of you. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone could make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topic, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear at Euro 2012.
And there we see in the stands John Terry's wife, and with his arm around her, Rio Ferdinand.
Well, this French team has 3 strikers. Luckily, the other 8 have agreed to play.
Tonight's game is in the incredible city of Kiev. The outskirts are sort of crispy crumbly.
And Holland are 2 down. Yes, I've finished the crossword.
And the Greeks have reached the quarter-final. If only they'd had a massive bet on that.
Oh, that's a bad one. You can see the bone sticking right out. These Ukrainian meat pies really are awful.
And now over to Mark Lawrenson, who has something really interesting to say.
Well, I've never seen that on a pitch before. It seems the referee really is a wanker.
No, mate. This is row 6. Euro 2012.
Here in Ukraine, we launch campaign. Kick football out of racism.
And that is some incredible dribbling there from the Irish supporters. Sorry.
And things are about to turn ugly as we go back to the studio to Adrian Childs.
And it's Germany against Greece, the ultimate dilemma for the British royal family.
And And that is quite simply some wonderful defending there from John Terry's legal team.
Well, the Russians and Ukrainians are going to settle this with a shootout. No penalties, just a shootout.
So, Germany are camped in the Polish half. Not for the first time.
And Rooney's trying to get around the keeper, but his keeper's not letting him out of his cage.
It's Christmas time, and we hope you're all enjoying the season at home as much as we are here in October. But now, in the past, people have said we don't try harder to be festive on this show, so this year we're going an extra mile. We decided to buy each other Christmas presents, so let's see what everyone got. And for Chris, I'm just going to go to you first.
OK. Well, my first present is for Hugh. I've bought everybody a bit of headgear. That's for Hugh. First.
So we're going to put it on?
Yeah, you got to put it on, yeah. That'd be nice, you know. It's Christmas Day, you've got to do that, haven't you? Because Hugh is our captain, Dara. The middle section denotes captaincy. He's the captain of
no,
the
captain of the team.
No seniority, no points.
I'm also going to be in Fantasy... What's it called?
He looks more like being a remake of The Village People at the moment.
For Andy, I got I know what it's like going out in public and people hassling you and stuff. I bought Andy
my present.
I like your present,
I bought Andy a disguise so that he can disguise himself so nobody will know it's Andy. Nobody will be able to tell it's him. For Dara, I just got a lovely hat for him to wear. It's a lovely hat. It's a normal-sized hat for a normal-sized head. Completely normal-sized hat.
I've got a present for you that hasn't been wrapped.
That's all right.
I'm really sorry. It is socks. I know that's boring, but they're not ordinary socks. They're DVT socks. Because I'm very worried about how little you move around, and I don't want you... Normally, you'd have to worry about it on a long... Yeah, it'd be on a long-haul flight you'd have to worry about it, but... Yeah, I haven't seen you walk for... Well, since 2005, so... I've also got a present for Chris here. Because, well, it's really a present for us more than anything. It's,
put this on, right?
It's just a game, really. You put that on. You just put that on, OK? And then for the long periods...
You so look like John McEnroe at a
You do. And for the long periods of the show when Dara doesn't bother to look at us or talk to us, we can just play. Where did that go?
This looks best like Christmas ever.
It looks like a Dire Straits video gone wrong.
You go.
Honestly, I don't see what the problem is.
Gosh, this is just like my school days, only now I'm wearing a hat.
No.
First up is language. Who wants to come in with that? Chris.
Language, apparently, was developed by humans to help them during hunting. That's what people will tell you. I don't buy that. I think language is more likely to have developed spontaneously, probably between a cave couple who were just furious with each other, incandescent with rage, but completely incapable of expressing their emotion, just standing opposite each other in the cave mouth, going until something had to give. And one of them finally snapped and went, "You prick!" And they all went, "Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Never clean this cave up. This place is a tip." "Well, why didn't you say something before?" "Well, I couldn't, could I?" "You're a pig, you are. My mother warned me about you." "Oh, really? How?" The Bantu languages of the southern African peoples, they speak with a system of clicks and tuts, this kind of using their throat and their tongue, and constantly surrounded by horses they've no need of. It's a nightmare for them. Bantu for go away horse is... They're screwed, really, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Chris. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is home life. Who wants to go with that? Sarah.
My home life involves no children. I don't really like children. And if you ask, most of my female friends don't have kids. If you ask any woman who doesn't have kids what would worry them about having kids, the answer would always be childbirth. From what I understand of childbirth, it changes you downstairs, doesn't it? It changes you downstairs. I quite like my downstairs the way it is, thanks very much. Certainly don't want an extension. But it's bound to change though, isn't it? Because you're forcing a person out. That's what you're doing. You're forcing a person out. I've never forced a person out. I forced a couple in. But I was in a shop recently and this little boy came running over to me, put his hand in mine and shouted, "Mammy!" And I thought, oh, sometimes forget me keys, but I think I'd remember that. And then his dad came over and I thought, I wonder if this is the best chat-up line ever. And his dad's going to go, "No, no, that's not your mammy. Remember your mammy left us because my willy's too big."
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Well, the season has finished now, but as a special bonus, because we enjoyed it so much, here are some of the rounds we didn't have time to fit into the original programmes, along with some of our favourite moments and a few outtakes. I hope you enjoyed them. Let's have our first topic. That is... What the name of is that? Let's spin the wheel again. Oh, is it? Okay. It is, of course, national surveys. Good luck with this one, folks. This next round is our version of question time called Ask the Politicians. I'll play the host. Joe, Frankie and John, if you could move up among the audience, please. Ready to ask your questions to the politicians sitting at the front here. If you'd move in. Rory, you're Tony Benn. Hugh, you're a Tory spokesman. And Al, you're the voice of the silent majority. Can we have our first audience question from the swarthy Greek lady on that side there, please? Yes?
Oh, thanks. I was just wondering that as Britain chairs the European presidency, what changes should we be making? And would anyone like some falafel?
Serious suggestion here.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, by the way. I realise I haven't said hello to you today.
No, it's. I thought it was a little bit, you know.
We never
distant.
say hello on this show.
Nice. There is a lack of that, isn't there?
Straight into politics, mate.
Yeah.
Britain needs satire, and I'm here for it.
Go straight into it.
I think people don't realise that we don't all just converge on this point without having bumped into each other sometime during the day and the lead into the recording. It's not like they don't like 5 minutes before the show starts going, "Woo," and then we all just emerge from all the different compass points. Assemble!
All have little nicknames like
Token Cockney, Whimsy, One-Liners.
God, it is like the Avengers.
You weren't elected, were you, to this position?
I wasn't. I stole it in a bloody coup. And would do it again, my friend. People have disappeared from the show, Miles, and would again for raising those exact kind of questions.
Well, I'm just saying.
Where's Frankie now? Where's Russell now? Gone.
You will be dragged through the streets, Dara. You will be dragged through the streets like Gaddafi. Then they'll be laughing.
Oh, there are 5 regulars on the show. How many regulars now? Just poor weak Hugh. Poor weak Hugh, who I own. Hugh will always give the correct answer when I ask him to, won't you, Hugh? Won't you, Hugh?
Your shoes are almost polished.
Thank you, Hugh. Hugh knows what's right for him. In other news...
I think you're terrific on the megabus, sir.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic here, Hugh.
And there goes the final regular.
Just me.
I've known Darren quite a number of years now. Whenever I look at his career and compare it to mine, I always just think, I'm the same age as him. Then I look at his balding head and I run my fingers through my luscious hair and I go, let him have his own show, I don't care. I've got my own hair.
Think of that as you're watching it next week from your sofa.
The Duke of Edinburgh, very fond of impressions. That was a dirty old man. Oh, the lineup. Of course, the point of these is to meet foreign dignitaries. That's President someone or somewhere with suspiciously dark hair for a man of his age. Tony Blair, of course, will at this stage urge the Duke of Edinburgh not to insult the many dignitaries or be racist with them. There he goes. He's saying they may be foreign, but that doesn't make them bad or wrong. Who's next? Oh, it's Gerhard Schroeder. Another man with suspiciously dark hair. Of course, he doesn't use hair dye. He's never gone grey, in spite of his age of 107.
Is that your image of Scotland? You know that's three English blokes at a wedding. Do you remember years ago when they were making Braveheart, everyone said, oh, it's ridiculous, Mel Gibson playing a Scottish guy. That's not going to be very convincing. And look at him now, an alcoholic racist. The most Scottish thing I've ever seen, I was going through a town called Bathgate at about 11:30 at night, and there was a guy pissing against the front door. He then took out his keys and went inside.
Thank you, Roy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have another topic. The subject is bird flu. Who wants to come in that? Ian.
Yeah, we do have a bird flu helpline. We do give us advice on what to do in the unlikely event that we encounter a dead bird. And I thought, well, what are people doing at the moment? Oh, look, there's a dead bird. I must rub it in my face. Hello, bird flu helpline. I think I made a grave error. I was walking down the street and I encountered a dead bird. I rubbed it in my face, yeah. Is that wrong? Shit. Only I'd spoken to you earlier. What, now? The kids are playing with it, yeah.
This next round is called Phone In. I'll play the host of a radio phone-in programme, interviewing a top guest in the week's news, played by Frankie, whilst the other performers will play different characters ringing in with searching questions, OK? Welcome back to the show. I'm delighted to welcome my special guest, John Prescott.
Hello, Dara.
Good to have you here, John, with us. John, Mr. Prescott, of course, you've had a busy summer. How did they find out about your affair, by the way?
Well, basically, the woman I was shagging ended up being the flattest woman in Britain. So the newspapers just rang round hospitals asking for women who'd been admitted, claiming that a piano fell on them.
We're going to move over to line 3 there.
Oh, I'm line 3, am I?
Hello,
Mr. Prescott, good to talk to you again. Now, when Tony Blair retires, he's going to be lecturing the world, making a fortune. When Gordon Brown stops being Chancellor, he'll get directorships in the city. What are you going to do when you give up politics?
Well, I resent your tone, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm a man of many achievements. For example, I'm a 25-stone man who's managed to shag a woman on a desk and not break it.
It's funny you should say all of that.
I've got vicious pins and needles. I genuinely have. Oh, God, I'm in genuinely real trouble.
Thank God you're not in Romania. There wouldn't be a doctor for miles.
This is the sort of British sportsman we've come to expect.
Really helped me leg.
So, Russell...
You're the youngest, Russell. You're that's probably 10, 15 years fitter than any of us here. Yeah. And you're the one whose legs have both fallen asleep from sitting in a chair.
Miss Fat Ankle 2006.
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. David, which category would you like?
Science.
OK, your category is science. The answer is serious, risky and heroic. What is the question?
What is telling farmers, it could be worse?
Is it what are Snap, Crackle and Pop's DJ names?
How have people described my recent sex tour of Nigeria?
Very well reviewed in The Spectator.
How would you describe standing in between Judy Finnegan and a free bar?
Is it what are the 3 speed settings on the world's most powerful vibrator?
And you know what the correct answer is?
Is it about the Russian submarine that's attempted to claim the North Pole?
It's exactly what it is. Well done, Frankie. Congratulations. The first subject is exam questions that were rejected.
A lot of people say that the exams are too easy. Is the answer A, yes? Or B, David Beckham?
With illustrations, describe the Prophet Muhammad.
A Virgin train is travelling at 120 miles per hour between London and Manchester. What time will it be cancelled?
Do you think kids spend too much time with their PlayStation? Answer cross, triangle, circle or square.
Tick the box A, B or C to receive the grade A, B or C.
Sex education practical. Report to me in the stationery cupboard.
If I add 1/8 to 1/16, how stoned will I be?
Now we play a game called What on Earth? You're thinking at home, wow, I haven't seen this game before. That's because we never fucking broadcast it. Now we've an exciting new round called Ask the Panel, which ordinary members of ask questions about something in the news this week. Can we have our first question, please? Who wants to come with a question? That gentleman there, please.
Do any of you smoke, and if so, how have you been dealing with the smoking ban?
No, very easily.
I don't smoke, but apparently the big problem with the smoking ban is BO in nightclubs. And I've thought it through, just put Nicorette patches under both armpits. 2 birds, 1 stone. Also, if they need to put a new smell into nightclubs, you've got to select something that everyone likes. Bacon. Those are my ideas.
I did enjoy Charles Kennedy getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he obviously knew the dangers of smoking, not so aware of the dangers of sticking your head out of a train going at 125 miles an hour.
I thought Charles Kennedy probably wasn't even smoking. It's probably like just the alcohol in his breath spontaneously combusted. He's probably like a baby dragon at this stage.
I saw something that was great the other day. There was a bloke outside a pub and he had a cagoule on, right, and he was just absolutely slashing it down, just smoking like that, like a nicotine-obsessed condom. It was fantastic. You'd think he'd probably just quit at that stage.
That's a really good look for you, by the way.
Thanks so
You
much.
do more stuff like that.
Well, if most people did this, the world would be a happier place. Very difficult. It's very difficult to take something seriously.
Are you talking about...
I want a divorce.
I think you probably get it, actually.
Yeah. How has Blue Peter managed to upset the Tories this week?
Have they changed their name to Red Peter?
They have not.
Have they not?
No, they have not. No.
Is Connie Huck?
It is Connie Huck, yes.
Does she hate him? I don't know.
Well, she would hate him. No.
Yeah, I tell you who doesn't hate Connie Huck. Hey, Dara.
She's a good girl.
Hang on.
Don't mess with the hook.
What does that mean? Do you fancy her?
He dresses up as I've seen him do it. He dresses up as I've seen him.
Kids TV kind of thing, and I quite like... she's getting dissed at the moment.
Then.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she's...
He loves her. He loves her.
And, no, she
Look at him squirm.
Have you ever met her, Dara?
I've never met her. No.
Would you like
to meet
Clearly
her, Dara?
not
Would you
going
like to
happen
sidle
now.
up to her and say, here's something I made earlier?
Dara, does your wife watch this?
Yeah, but she doesn't watch Blue Peter, so I'm all right.
Sticky back plastic.
That actually is just a Blue Peter term. It had no actual gag there. So no, sorry. You might have just said, shut the dog at that stage. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Give a big welcome to the people. Fucking hell. I'm sorry.
It's going to be the best one ever.
The first 5 seconds were brilliant.
Oh, lovely. I'm sorry.
This organisation does not tolerate failure, Mr.
Okay, the first subject is national identity. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I need a piss.
Okay, I'll just give the title again so you can pop it up on screen. Excuse me. Sorry.
I'm a little bored today. I think I may sing the news to you. Oh,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Which point we usually ask you if you could now walk like a raptor.
Should I walk like a raptor?
Go on, for those who haven't been here before.
This is an announcement to any passengers awaiting the 10 o'clock train to Edinburgh, calling at Peterborough, Doncaster, Darlington, York, Grantham, Northgate, Peterborough. Fuck, I fucked that up. It was going to be so funny as well. Oh, it was funny.
what do you think the punishment for queue jumping should be? Do you think A, death, B, deportation, or C, that twat with a buzzer keeps on putting it in the wrong fucking place?
You're just funny. To me, you're funny right from the start, okay? Sorry, Russell, do you want to walk back in the walk again?
It's not going to be very good anyway.
In the week that Osama bin Laden released... for fuck's sake! More of that later. Mock the week.
I foiled him by throwing a banana at him.
Who throws a banana at somebody? Next topic is what you didn't hear at Live Earth.
Live Earth, sponsored by Powergen.
Go home, it's too late, there's nothing we can do!
Yeah, just keep the car running. I'm only doing 20 minutes.
We've managed to power this whole event just by burning orangutans.
The next topic is unlikely letters to be read out on points of view.
Why, oh why is the structure of my chromosomes?
Dear BBC, I watched a light entertainment programme on your network the other night that wasn't hosted by Graham Norton. Is he ill?
Dear BBC, how did you manage to get those hippos to swim in a circle?
Dear BBC, I am a Nigerian general with £30 million to put in your bank account.
Last night, I turned onto your new porn channel, See Boobies.
Dear Points of View, I would like to complain about the weird voice you're reading out my letter in.